All right, everybody. This is Kelly Williams with the Kelly Williams Show in Bay Area Houston Magazine, and it's time for the Kelly Williams Show. Yay! All right, so I am excited because are you ready for hurricane season?
Let's find out.
We're going to find out. Today, live on the show, I've got Braxton Skipper with Skipper Insurance Agency, and I'm going to tell you, we're going to make sure you know what you need to do to be ready for hurricane season. Okay, guys, so grab your coffee, grab your mimosa, and we're going to meet you right back here, right after this commercial break. All right, here we are. We're back. Hey, Braxton.
Hey, Kelly.
How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me back on.
I am so excited for you to be on the show today because
Me
we
too.
are going to help a lot of people today.
Yes, ma'am.
Hurricane season. As you see behind us, we're in the hurricane center today.
We're in the eye of the storm.
We're in the eyes of the storm. That's right. We want to make sure you know exactly what you need to do to make sure your home is ready for hurricane season. So many people are never prepared.
That's right.
They don't ask the right questions. They don't know what to ask, and they're really not sure who to ask. And then what happens is that they get flooded, windstorm damage, and they're up a creek.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're gonna make sure that you get the information you need today. If you have any questions for Braxton, you can ask him live on this show today, and we'll get them answered for you. Okay, so Braxton, first of all, where are you from?
I'm from Santa Fe, Texas.
Santa Fe, Texas.
Yes,
I like
ma'am.
it. I like it. Did you grow up there?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Wow.
I went to Texas State University in San Marcos, and I went to work for Texas Farm Bureau out of college, and that's where I got my start, and then started up my own thing. Skipper
Nice.
Insurance.
Very good.
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
good. Okay, so really quickly before we go more with the show, we both have a mutual friend that it's her birthday today.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is it?
Kimberly Hardy.
Kimberly Hardy.
Happy birthday, Kim.
That's right. Happy birthday. We love you. We love you.
Shout out to Kimberly Harding and Remax Synergy in Leak City.
That's right. We're excited.
I love them.
Okay, so what did you do before you got into insurance?
I was a student. I was a student at Texas State, and then I was actually became a father, and I had to go straight into the plants for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I got my opportunity at Texas Farm Bureau. My parents and grandparents are agents at Farm Bureau. They still are today.
Oh.
And that's where I learned the business and got my start. And it was a great company. I love it, and it was a great place to learn. And just propelled me into going independent, doing my own thing.
Nice. I love that. How long so Skipper Insurance is your family business?
It is.
How long have you been with Skipper Insurance?
So this is our actually second year.
Wow.
Yeah, this is our second year. I started up at the beginning of last year. And so this is our rolling into our second year.
Nice.
Halfway through it.
Wow. It's amazing. And I'm going to tell you, last year, almost a week to the day, I interviewed Braxton because it's June starts hurricane season.
Mhm.
If you did not know, hurricane season is from June 1st through November the 30th.
Mhm.
It's a lot of time.
It is.
People think it's just a short amount of time. It's not.
Mhm.
And we're telling you this because this matters on when you get your insurance for windstorm or flood. Those
Absolutely.
times are very important. Excuse me. Okay, so Skipper Insurance Agency is based out of where?
Texas City, Texas.
All
Texas City,
right.
Texas. We do all commercial and personal lines. home, auto, wind, flood, and commercial liability. Umbrella,
Nice.
the whole nine.
So you're full service
Yes,
insurance company.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
love it. I love it. Okay, so it's a family business. Y'all have been serving Galveston County for the past 2 years.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people love knowing that it's a family-owned local business.
It is.
You know your clients well. They're not just a number.
No,
This
ma'am.
is very important to people. Customer service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely. I love that. Okay, so according to the National Weather Service meteorologist Lance Wood. Do you know Lance?
Not personally.
Me neither. But he has something interesting to say. He says this year could be especially harsh. 60% chance we think of an above normal season. So above normal to meteorologists means that storms in a range of about 13 to 20 hurricanes, 6 to 10 of them will be major in a 3 to 5 range. I mean,
look what happened last year,
Yeah.
Look what happened last year. Look what happened to Lake. Look what's been happening to Lake Charles. That's
Oh,
the
it's
community there.
It's crazy.
There's just a little bit of deterrence there. That'll be us.
Exactly. And Galveston County, the Bay Area, we're right here on the water. And so this is something that's at the forefront of our minds the entire year, honestly.
It needs to. It should be.
Exactly. It should be. You're right.
So,
people need to make sure they're prepared.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I want to know, if you are a homeowner, what do people need to have before hurricane season starts? What should they have already done?
So down here on the Texas Gulf Coast, the homeowner's policy typically excludes windstorm. It'll always exclude flood. Okay, I encourage and advise all my clients to carry all three. But what you need to do is you need to make sure to get with your agent and see if you have windstorm built into the policy, or if you have a standalone. Either way, verify that you have the coverage.
Okay.
With flood insurance, that's always going to be on its own. You need to make sure that, if you weren't required to have it by a lender for closing or anything, and you don't already have it, then you need to make sure to get it, because there's a 30-day wait unless you're having to get it for a closing or something like that. But if you just don't have it right now and you're putting it off, you need to go ahead and get it, because don't wait till a storm blows up to then get it, because it's not going to help you.
Yeah.
It's a 30-day wait.
It's too late. Once a storm hits,
Exactly.
It's too late.
Yeah.
So if somebody right now does not have flood insurance or windstorm insurance, and we just started hurricane season, but there's no storms yet.
Right.
So there's no storms, guys, right now. So
Right.
they can call you
That's right.
at Skipper Insurance and say, what do I need to get? Please help me get my windstorm or flood or whatever. And depending on where they live, you can guide them
Correct.
on that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with windstorm also, you make sure with your agent or make sure with your mortgage company that's paid. Don't just assume that it's paid. Because that happens all the time. Lenders forget to send the check. You think everything's good. Then a storm blows up. You call to ask, what your deductible is or something like that. And lo and behold, you don't have a policy.
No.
It lapsed. So,
Exactly. And
then I can't accept, me or any other agent can't accept your payment because we're cut off because there's a storm.
Exactly.
They'll cut you off.
Please do these things before a storm forms in the Gulf.
Absolutely.
This is really, really important information that you need to know. Call today. Listen, they'll talk to you at no charge on the phone about what your thoughts are, what your concerns are, and what you have, what you don't have, what you think you might need, and they're going to help you. His email and phone number is right down here, going across the screen, and you can call him today. Do not wait. I'm telling you, this is too important.
Don't wait. Don't put it off.
No.
Don't wait. Don't put it off, because, like I said, if anything happens, if a storm blows up out there or what, they cut us off, and I'm not unique in that.
Yeah.
All carriers will do it.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. Okay. So my friend, good morning, Minnie. Thank you for tuning in. She wants to know, do you think global warming is affecting hurricane seasons?
That's a good question. I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does have an effect. It's not really all my department. My department's to make sure you're protected from it. So
Absolutely.
just make sure you got the insurance. with or without global warming, a hurricane can happen. So.
Exactly. So don't wait on them to tell you if there's global warming.
Right.
Make sure you have your insurance because it gets very hectic.
Yeah.
Do you is there and I don't even know this because we haven't talked about this, but for renters, is there flood or windstorm insurance that renters can get if they're in apartments or townhomes?
Absolutely. Yep. It's just like a renter. It's going to be a contents only policy that will cover you for that peril. So you can get a windstorm renter's policy, you can get a flood renter's policy, and of course just a standard fire renter's policy.
Absolutely.
It's the same as getting insurance for your house, but it's just going to cover your contents in a renter situation.
Sure. So whether you're a homeowner or renter,
and it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, you can call Braxton and they can help you and guide you through this because it is hurricane season, guys. It started June the 1st. Do not wait anymore. If you do not know if you have windstorm or flood insurance,
find out
immediately. And Skipper Insurance Agency is here to help you and they will answer your questions. They are good people that are not going to take advantage of you. They are going to just guide you and help you get what you need.
We're here for you.
That's right. Okay, so good morning. Nancy, my friend in Philippines, is watching.
Hey, Nancy.
Good morning. Okay, Braxton, what is one of the biggest mistakes that homeowners make during hurricane season?
What I've found, and kind of touched what we said earlier, is just assuming that your mortgage paid your escrow, because a lot of times they'll accidentally send the windstorm check to the homeowners and the homeowners company, and the homeowners company will send that check back to you, and you just put it back in your escrow and you don't go repay for the policy, and wires get crossed, and lo and behold, you don't have windstorm. So you just got to make sure. Beforehand that all your insurance got paid by your escrow. Get with your lender, make sure they cut the check and it was received, the policy was issued, and that everything went smooth.
Yeah.
Because with windstorm, we don't have binding authority with windstorm. Okay. And what that means is that you don't actually have windstorm coverage until TWIA receives that check physically.
Wow.
Okay. Or you can do an e-check where, me as the agent and whoever's, my staff can pay by e-check. They can just get your ACH info and issue it right from the office. But if your mortgage company's paying it, we can't do that. They have to actually send that check themselves to TWIA or to whoever carries your windstorm.
Yeah.
And with windstorm, a lot of times, like I said, we don't have binding. So you don't have coverage until they got the check in hand. And where that comes into where that can be a problem is if you thought everything was good and they didn't ever get the check, you don't have the coverage. So you need to make sure and verify and get confirmation that it was done.
Take personal responsibility on this, guys. We want to give you all this information, but please know that you need to be making phone calls to your homeowner's insurance agency.
That's right. Whoever carries your property insurance, and then also make sure you call your lender, and make sure that they're aware of who they need to send the check to if they haven't already, or that it was done and it was cashed on the other side, and you just need to make sure that that's all been done.
Absolutely. Make sure, guys. Good morning, Daryl, one of my good friends.
What's up, Daryl?
Yeah, what's up? Daryl knows. He's from the Louisiana area.
Cool.
And so
he knows all about this.
He does know about it. And look, guys, this is coming. Hopefully not this one this big, but we're in hurricane season right now. Are you ready? We are here to try to help you get prepared. If you have any specific questions for Braxton Skipper right now, type them in the comments and we're going to get them answered for you, because we want you to have the information that you need to make sure you're ready for hurricane season. Too many homeowners assume that their windstorm or their flood insurance is already paid, that somebody else took care of it.
Right.
That's not always the case.
No.
You have to know who to call and who to make sure.
Know before you go.
That's right. Ooh, I like that.
Know before you go.
Know
before you go into hurricane season.
That's right. Absolutely. And hurricane season started June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
we're in it.
We are in it. And I'm going to tell you, living in the Bay Area, in the South, on East Coast, we all deal with hurricanes, and it's something always on our mind.
Right. And we live in a tricky area with insurance. The Texas Gulf Coast, all the coastal counties of Texas, you got to really mind your P's and Q's. It's not like living in Waco or somewhere in further into the state. You got to make sure that you got all three policies, or if you got wind included in your homeowners. Because like I said earlier, down here, most of the time it's excluded and we got to write it on a standalone wind policy. So you wind up with 2 or 3 policies to keep up with. So, and you got to make sure you have all your certificates for windstorm as well. So anything new construction or anything added to your home or remodeled or, extended after 1988 has got to have what's called a WPI8 certificate to remain eligible for windstorm coverage.
So anything after 1988?
Right. Any new construction or any add-ons or remodels, re-roofs, new windows, doors, garage doors, all that stuff. Most of the time the contractor who's doing it for you can set you up with one, but you got to make sure they do it, because if you don't and they don't file it, then TWIA or whoever carries your windstorm can see that you don't have it, and they can non-renew you or cancel you. So you got to make sure that not only do you have the insurance, but that you remain eligible for the wind insurance. So and these are things that you learn being a homeowner down here. It's a lot different than anywhere else.
It is, and you have to make sure that you have the correct coverage.
Correct.
Don't assume that you do, because too many people deal with these issues and are shocked that they do not have the correct coverage after they have home damage.
And your deductibles too. I'm glad you touched on that. Know what your windstorm deductible is. Know what your fire deductible is. Be cognizant of that, because if it's not something that you're comfortable with, then you need to change it. You need to change it before, like we said, this shows up in the Gulf. Because once this happens, we can't make any changes now. But if you make sure your package is the way you want it to be before we go in.
Absolutely.
Before anything happens.
Okay, so Braxton, if somebody wants to call you and just says, "Hey, this is my policy. Can you help me with this? And if I need changes, y'all can take care of all that."
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I do extensive reviews annually with all my clients, and even if you're not a client, I'll review all your stuff with you.
Absolutely. There you go.
Not a problem.
This is why he's on the show. Honest, trustworthy, a local boy right here. He and his family are taking care of you with your insurance needs, and this is really, really important. Okay. Yes, Nancy, thank you. Good advice. That's right. Absolutely. That's what we're here for this morning. Okay, Daryl. Good question. Yes. What's the difference between flood and surge insurance? Lots of people.
Good question.
One of the absolutely.
So flood is only going to cover you for rising water coming from the outside inside to your home. Rising water. It's like I said earlier. It's never going to be on a homeowner's, and it's not going to be on a windstorm policy either. Windstorm is going to cover you for wind-driven rain damage from the top down. Flood's going to be from down up.
Okay.
Right? Surge is not going to be covered on windstorm. Surge is typically going to have to be covered on the flood side. Okay. So you got to make sure you got all bases covered. You got to make sure you have all 3 policies for this very thing. But that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that.
It's a really, really good question, because so many people have concerns that they have flood and not windstorm, or windstorm and not flood, and surge insurance. This is a very good question. And I'm going to tell you, right before hurricane season starts or during hurricane season, that's when people start thinking about it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What do we have? What is correct? What do we need? What are we looking for? This is why we're doing this now.
Exactly.
Okay. So Daryl, great question.
And I want to touch on another thing with that as well. So if you have Texas windstorm, if you have TWIA, you want to make sure that you have the endorsement called the wind-driven rain endorsement. Okay. What wind-driven rain is let's say, hail and rain and wind blow a hole into your windows and blow rain all into your home.
Yeah.
Right. That's going to be covered on your windstorm policy. But if we have a situation like we had in Harvey, where there was no wind, it was just rain that never quit.
Yeah.
That boiled down if you had flood or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Rising water. Okay. So you never know what kind of hurricane it's going to be. If it's going to be a tropical storm type hurricane, where it's just a bunch of wind, or if it's going to be like Hurricane Ike, where or I'm sorry, earlier it was flood, but Ike was wind. Ike was a big wind event.
Exactly.
So, that Ike was a windstorm type hurricane, and Harvey was a flood type hurricane.
It's two totally different things.
Exactly.
So much damage from both of them.
And you got no way of knowing which end of them. You got to have all of it.
No, absolutely. Daryl, you're still in Louisiana. Is that correct? Please comment if you're still able to watch the show. I know you're probably at work.
Yeah, they probably have a little different rules in Louisiana, but I'm sure.
But kind of the broad information.
Yeah, you definitely.
Is the same you want to check.
Flood's always going to be different, no matter where you're at. Flood's always going to be on its own, regardless.
Okay.
But.
Yeah, and that's important. Flood insurance is on its own. You have to get that. Okay, yes, he is still in Louisiana. Gotcha. So check with your insurance agent there and make sure that you're covered on all of those. You probably are, Daryl, because you've been through so much. Right. But so few people ask the right questions. Okay. So,
and unfortunately, the ones that do end up having asked the right questions are somebody that they've been burned before, right?
Exactly.
They've been through a bad experience. They've not had something in the past that cost them dearly, and so now they know what to ask.
Absolutely.
Don't, try not to be like that. Try to get it all squared away where you don't have to be a cautionary.
No, and it's never too early to call your agent about this windstorm and flood insurance surgeon. I mean, we want you to call early and get information.
I want you to be protected.
Yeah.
It brings me no joy to have to tell somebody they don't have any insurance.
That's awful.
That's not my job. Is to make sure you're protected or give you the opportunity to be. I don't want to have to tell you don't have the coverage.
No.
That's not what me or any agent wants to do. I guarantee you. So I'm here to help you. Anything you need, please feel free to call me morning, noon, and night. I mean, this is what I do. It's a lifestyle. So
exactly.
I couldn't imagine doing anything else.
Yeah, it's taking care of you and making sure people are covered and have the right coverage.
Absolutely.
We're in the middle of we just started we're not in the middle. We just started hurricane season. Look at this. This is what could be happening. We don't know. Are you ready? Do you have the coverage you need to protect your home, your rental property, your family? This is very, very important, guys. I'm live right here with Braxton Skipper of Skipper Insurance. Scrolling across the screen, you're going to see his email address and his phone number that you can call and talk to him and see if you need anything else or if you are okay. If you're not, if you don't even know what you need, he can help you with what you need. And if you need an agent, here's your guy right here. Okay. Windstorm. Windstorm. Is there something specific we need to always make sure we have in our windstorm coverage?
Yeah. So like I was saying, you want to make sure you have wind-driven rain. You want to make sure to have that endorsement. If you don't have TWIA, then just make sure that you have something comparable to that endorsement with whoever you have windstorm through. If you have windstorm built into your homeowner's policy, then get with your agent and review it and make sure y'all are on the same page with what you got. And if it's not adequate coverage, then you need to go get something that is, because you don't want to find out that wasn't the package that you needed after the storm happened and you sustain any damage. No,
absolutely. And they're just going to say, well, you didn't call us about it. I mean, they can't run after people and clients and say, hey, listen, are you prepared? This is something that we all need to be doing with our agent or find an agent that will help you. And this is why we're interviewing this guy right here.
It's why it's so important to do reviews.
Absolutely.
Things change. Just even you may even have bought a new 4-wheeler, a new car or something like that I don't know about unless we meet. Right. Yeah. And, so we got to and you may have added something onto your house and you didn't know you needed a cert for it. And so, I have no way of knowing these things if I don't engage with my clients, which is why I do it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I mean, this is something to stay on top of, and you don't want to get caught without it.
No. And by cert, he doesn't mean the little breath thing. He means a certification.
Yeah. A certificate. Yeah. A certificate. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's right. Okay. So good morning to my daddy who is watching.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah. Hey, Daddy.
I keep great information.
I know. Great information. My daddy has been in the insurance industry for years and years and years. And so he knows good people when he sees them. And I was talking to him about you, so he was excited to get on
Awesome.
and watch the show today. Hey, Daddy, thank you for watching. Yes, he does know that it's good information.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we talked about what the difference between windstorm and flood insurance is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give us a little quick reminder so that people know.
Sure. So flood, again, I can't stress this enough, is always going to be excluded from your homeowner's policy. Okay. On the Texas Gulf Coast, where we are, windstorm sometimes will be in it, most of the time not. All right. So you're very possible to have 3 different policies: homeowners, windstorm, and flood.
Okay.
Okay. Flood is going to cover you for rising water, rising flood waters. Okay. Windstorm is going to cover you for wind-driven rain, hail damage, tornado damage, those kind of events, right? So, if you have just a whole torrential downpour or, something of that nature, a tropical storm or something, it's just a lot of rain that's coming from the ground up, gets into your home, that's going to be covered under flood. If you have a wind event that's tornadoes and hail blowing into your house and blowing rainwater all into your house, that's going to be covered under a windstorm. So, those kind of things are 2 distinct and different policies, but you need to have both because you have no idea what's going to happen in a hurricane. You don't know what kind of event you're going to get.
Absolutely. And preparedness is the key.
Yeah. And this is your home, guys. I mean, This is your home. This is your life. This is where you and your family live. You want to make sure to protect that with those kind of policies.
Yeah.
Regardless of how much they are, think of how much your house is worth.
Yeah.
And then compare the two.
Exactly.
You could protect your $300,000 investment with, $1,200 or something, whatever your quote is. But
yeah.
That's my point. I mean, you need to we live on the Texas Gulf Coast, guys. Let's face it. We're all in a flood zone. Just some are in it worse than others.
Exactly.
I'll tell you that right now. You have no way of knowing if the drainage in the past in your neighborhood may have been awesome, but there may be lawn chairs and trash in your drain now.
Yeah.
And that's clogging it up. And when you thought you'd never flood, now all of a sudden you do. You have no way of knowing how the topography from all the construction that's going on around us has impacted where that water is going to displace.
Absolutely. And those are great points that people never think about. And that
I wouldn't think about it either if I wasn't in the business.
No, exactly.
We saw it during Harvey big time.
Absolutely. And that a lot of cities do not think about, especially with so much construction happening over this past year and a half.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I can't stress that enough. It changes how that water is going to end up.
Yeah.
And where it's going to displace.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so you're comparing, a lot of times we compare to past storms, right?
Yeah.
5-6 years ago, what happened when we got all that rain a few years back? Well, look at all the things that have changed to how the terrain is since then, to your roads and streets and ditches. And you got no way of really knowing. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so Daryl, now we're fully covered and happy. We had 2 hurricanes, then a year later I'm at a major flood back in May last year, from all the drainage being blocked.
There you go.
Exactly. We live in the university area. It has never flooded till Hurricane Laura and Delta hit. Thank you. Daryl, seriously, this is exactly what he was talking about. This is what happens to people when they are not prepared.
Yes.
And thank goodness y'all are prepared.
Absolutely.
Because who would have thought that area would have flooded, but because of all the construction and the things that are in the pipes. Thank you so much. People don't know that areas are blocked, and they just assume they're not in a flood district.
Right, because we're always comparing to the rain, to events that happened in the past. But roads are getting busted and ditches are getting clogged up every day.
Absolutely.
And trash is getting clogged into these ditches, and and you just, like I said, you have no way of knowing how that water is going to displace until it does, right?
Exactly.
So just have your bases covered.
Absolutely. Okay, Braxton, what is like one specific point you want people to know about hurricane season?
Well, first and foremost, and I know we keep harping on it, but I can't stress it enough. Don't assume that you have everything. Don't assume that you have everything's just fine, like everything's covered and make sure that your payments have been made, make sure your policies are active. And to go back to the deductible point, most people have no idea what their deductibles are.
Exactly.
Until claim time, right?
Yeah.
That's a very avoidable thing. You can get with your agent on that. And if your deductible's too high, or, if you want to make changes to it, then do it. Do it before this shows up, because then nobody can make those changes. You get cut off. So, make sure you're prepared and you have a deductible you're comfortable with, and that you feel good about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So if you want to contact Braxton at Skipper Insurance Agency, this is his information that is scrolling along the bottom of the screen. You can email him, or you can call him directly on this is your cell phone.
Yep. That's my cell phone.
It's his cell phone, guys. If you have any questions from the show today, or if you have questions regarding your home, your apartment, condo, rental properties, anything that you are not sure if you have enough coverage for hurricane season, because you don't want to get caught not covered. Too many people, that happens to every year, and it's a shame because it's preventable. So please make sure you get the information you need from your insurance agent.
Yes, ma'am.
Have a review as quickly as possible. Don't wait.
Don't wait. Get with your agent, do a review, make sure y'all are on the same page with everything. If you need to make changes, make them. Or, hey, feel good about that everything's the way you want it and thought it was. So,
exactly.
It's good it's not only good for you as the client, it's good for me as the agent to do this too, because I want to make sure we have everything properly covered, and you should too. So it's good for both.
Absolutely. And listen,
but I would like to say one thing.
Yes.
I would like to, if you got like 15, 20 minutes in your spare time, if you have an iPhone or camera phone, just walk through your house and garage and video what you have.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And save it to something, like in case you lose your phone or something.
Yeah. Because
if your house burns or any kind of loss situation, God forbid, right? But if anything happens, that way you can help the adjuster with what you have. Because I don't know about y'all, but I don't really know what all I have until it's time to move. And then I'm like, where did I get all this stuff?
Yeah.
So you may have things that you didn't, you're not going to be thinking about in that time, but you'll have the video of, okay, of everything you lost, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Anything you can do to help the adjuster, it will help you too.
Yeah.
Right? So,
that's great.
Anything you can do to make the adjuster's job a little bit easier can make a world of difference. So,
absolutely.
And that way, they know what you have, you know what you have, and so I've always told the flood adjuster back in Harvey told me to do that. Tell my clients that from now on.
Love that.
I've always done that. And then if it's an evacuation, I highly recommend it to evacuate. Nothing's worth your life. Just make sure you got your insurance and take care of you and your family. And I just wanted to say those two.
Yeah, no, that's really, really great. And the great thing about those videos is that you can see all the stuff you really need to throw out.
Yeah, exactly. What was I doing with that?
Where did that come from? I need to throw out that. Exactly. So, great advice. I love that. I think people don't think about that nearly enough.
No.
Absolutely love that. Okay. So we just told you how to contact Braxton with Skipper Insurance Company. It's scrolling across the screen. Call them. Talk to Braxton or somebody at the office and find out what you have, what you need. If you need to change agents, or if you need an agent, that's what they're here for. They are going to help you. They are here to help you because hurricane season is here, guys. We don't want anyone stuck, not being covered. So please take time this week to go ahead and get that done, because once those storms are in the oceans,
yep,
your time frame is a little bit shorter and it's harder to get things. So
that's
call
correct.
Today. Get these things done today. Share this show with people need this advice. Okay, so really quickly, today on the show, Braxton is getting mugged right here on the Kelly Williams Show.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
Let me get your thing.
So we are so excited to have Braxton back today.
I brought a little
right.
something for you too.
Nice. Look at this.
There you
So
go.
if I have to evacuate, I've already got my bag.
There you go.
Look at that. That is nice. Thank you, Braxton.
No, it's just a
Wow.
little something for having me on again. I can't thank you
Wow.
enough, Kelly, for having me. I love this. This is
Oh.
so much fun.
Oh no, Braxton, I'm telling you, ever since we met last year,
Uh-huh.
you have really you do a really great job, and I'm proud that you're on the show
I'm
and
proud
back
to
on the
be here.
show.
I'm proud to be
And
here. Thank you.
guys, if you have any questions for this guy, I'm telling you, call him today. Get the information you need. Be ready. Be ready for hurricane season. It's here. You
And
know,
if you're not, I hope you get there.
that's right. That's right. So, okay, guys, thank you to Braxton Skipper with Skipper Insurance Agency for getting us ready for hurricane season. And thank you so much for watching. You can watch the Kelly Williams Show right here on Facebook and YouTube every week. And we hope you have an awesome and blessed rest of your day. Get ready for hurricane season, guys. It's here.
Gear up.
Call Braxton.
Give me a call.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.